So today we have a quick one. As you can see, ready for jiu-jitsu. I'm about to leave in a few minutes. But with that being said, today I want to talk about believing in yourself. One of the most important aspects of being goated, I would say. Obviously, right next to gratitude, like we discussed in our previous video. But believing in yourself, I feel like carries a lot of weight when it comes to your mission. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be a lot of times where nobody's gonna believe in you but yourself. And for the most part, that's how it's gonna be all the time. So it's not like it's gonna be a lot of times. It's just gonna be like that the whole time. Most of the times you feel scared of telling people or speaking up out loud about what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve, because it sets invisible expectations that they don't really hold up. It's really just in your head thinking that if you say this out loud, everyone's gonna expect you to do it, and if you don't, um, well then you just beat yourself up for it. But I feel like part of saying things out loud has a lot to do with self-belief and just like, I guess you can call it manifestation, but it's kind of like how I started speaking about saying I'm goated. It doesn't You don't have to be the greatest of all time, right? You don't have to be I'm not the greatest of all time in anything right now, I don't think. um Maybe I'm the greatest of all time in saying I'm goated. Who knows? Maybe I'll like unlock some goaded features along the way, but that's not the point. The point is, I wanted to make this video specifically today because there are moments in your journey or your mission, whatever you're trying to accomplish, where you think that maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I can't do it, right? But that's like the last thing you want to think. Even though it's sometimes uncontrollable, and those thoughts will slip into your mind very easily, subconsciously. You can't control it sometimes. But today I really had to reframe and remind myself that I whatever I couldn't do today, I just can't do it yet. And then, like most of the things I talk about, it's simple, it's common sense, right? Like on paper it's like, well, yeah, duh. Everybody starts out sucking at something. Jiu-jitsu, like I'm still a white belt, you know, but I'm far better than I was when I began. And anybody in anything that requires skills or time or investments will tell you that they sucked in the beginning. And I'm sure you guys have heard the phrase embrace the suck. And I feel like that's what I was kind of forgetting today. Even though it's not something that I was messing up in where you can just like do reps to get out of that suck, it's a different kind of suck. Excuse me. But I know that from when I started, this journey to where I am now, it's almost 100% guaranteed that I will reach my goal because I am closer to the end than I am to the finish. And sometimes it takes just looking back and realizing how far you've come to realize that when you're thinking, I'm not cut out for this isn't meant for me, I can't do it, you 9 times out of 10 probably just can't do it yet. How many times did you fall on your bike or on your skateboard or on your snowboard before you could ride down a whole slope without falling? You were closer to doing that whole run down the slope, when you wanted to give up the most, right when it got like the most frustrating. You know, Maybe you had one run where you almost made it to the bottom and then you fell right there, and you're like, you know, you could either be like, frick this, I'm done, or you could be like, you know what? Like back then, I couldn't even get off the friggin' ski lift without eating shit. Next one, I got this. Next one. And maybe that next one is the next one. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. That's the whole thing. That's the beauty of it. You don't know. You don't know unless you keep going. So just believe in yourself, no matter what anybody says. I know it sounds like cliche or like basic, whatever, but yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna go do jujitsu.